Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Outpost, a movie about a woman who, after a traumatic incident where she's beaten by an ex or a spouse or someone, she decides to move out to Idaho to live in a like a fire station outpost, and then things start happening. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Lot going on in this movie. It is directed by Joe Tartiglio of formerly of The State, if you remember that show back in the MTV, early MTV days. And you've seen him. He was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think that's what it's called. He's a funny guy. This isn't a funny movie, though. I'm not sure what it is, really. At first, I thought it was about isolation. But it seems to be about a woman who goes to isolate herself after a traumatic experience, and then to some extent goes crazy in the wilderness. But then people do try to kill her, I think. So, I don't know who the crazy one in this, because it looks like initially this guy seems to be like an enemy, like a local who kind of gives her the stink eye, but then later he's helping her train because someone's coming to kill her, I think, and she ends up defending the outpost from her ex and thereby regaining her strength. But I also think she may have gone crazy. I'm not sure. So it's written and directed by Joe Tartiglio. Or Truglio. I don't know why I say it that way. That's the same guy, right? I'm almost sure that's the same guy. Let me look him up real quick. IMDb. Outpost. The Outpost. No, that's not it. What's the name of this damn movie? Outpost. It just says Outpost. Why didn't this come up? Outpost. 2008. 2000 and... Here it is. Damn. Why didn't that... Joe Truglio. Truglio. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, see him? From... he always has that expression on his face. From Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So, good for him. He's fine. All the guys from The State, very talented. Looking to... I think most of them have directed something now. I know Michael Ian Black has. And the guys in his group, his subgroup. Oh, I can't think of all the guys' names now. Thomas Lennon and all those guys. All the guys in The State did very well for themselves. So I was very impressed. 1 hour and 24 minutes. Good runtime. Good runtime. Yeah, so I'm liking it. I'm liking the whole cut of the jib. Beth Dover is the main character. Don't recognize any of the other characters. But, yeah, and I'm a little unsure where it goes, because it seems at first to be a story about isolation. So maybe she does go crazy up in the outpost, and maybe some of the stuff she's seeing. See, this is the first scene where she sees these guys, and they kind of give her the stink eye, like, hey, baby. Like they're going to be not nice to her, but then later they're friends. So that's kind of a good turn, I think. I'm not sure of this guy's deal. At first, he helps her get set up at the outpost, but then by the end, he's trying to get her out of the outpost. So maybe she does go crazy and start shooting people? I don't know. So maybe it's that kind of movie. Maybe she snaps up in the outpost, and this guy, he's a character actor in a bunch of things. Can't think of his name. maybe he snaps up there. She snaps up there. See, she sees this fire and she's reporting it, and nobody else seems to see it. So maybe she does go completely crazy up there by herself. I'm not sure. Let's see. No write up. Well, if I had to guess, first act. Oh wait, there's a write up under IMDb. Usually, A Nightmare on a Mountain, about a woman fighting demons where the demons are winning. Oh, okay. All right, so that makes it clear. She is going crazy. So first act, she was traumatized terribly. I guess, unless she's lying about that too. But let's assume that part of it is at least true. She gets like beaten pretty bad, ends up in the hospital. Her husband or boyfriend or whatever goes to jail, or maybe gets off, but she needs to get away from him, and does so by moving out to Idaho to go out to this outpost. And so that's the first act, the lead up into her getting to the outpost. So they set her up in the outpost. She's a volunteer. She's going to live there for 3 months, and she's going to spend the day looking out into the countryside and looking to see if there's fires. She's isolated. She starts to get a little weird. Then one day, she sees a smoke, and she reports it, but nobody else sees it. And then people begin to question her, like, there was no fire, don't know what you saw. She starts to get more paranoid. There's a moment in which one of the characters says, well, you got to get back up there and watch my mountain. And she's like, it's my mountain too. And seems a little possessive of the mountain. And maybe she just snaps up there. She snaps and decides, like, everybody's after her. And then she gets it in her head that the boyfriend or husband or whatever is coming to get her, is found out. Maybe, again, it's all hallucinations. Who knows? But then she decides, she sees a car coming up the road and goes crazy and shoots the driver or something. And then it becomes like a standoff, and they're trying to tell her, no, you're crazy. And she can't accept that. And then the ending could go one of two ways. Depending on if she kills somebody. If she kills somebody, it's kind of a done deal. She's going to die by the end of the movie or go to an insane asylum. But the write-up says, and the demons are winning. Maybe the demons do win, and in the end, she falls off the tower to her death, trying to kill everybody who gets near the tower. And, she snapped because she never got over the trauma. Or they reveal that the trauma was fake and this was fake and she's just a messed up person. Or they fight their way to the outpost and they manage to... She falls off, but she survives, and then they take her away and she ends up back in the asylum, telling people another story. Yeah, it sounds like she's going to go down a dark path. A lot of this is on the actress. She seems up for the task. The direction seems nice. There's a lot of shots, different scenes. I mean, I think Joe's trying to make the most of this isolated area. So I'm liking the visuals. This would be a good movie to see in the theaters. It seems to have a lot of production value. A lot of sweeping vistas to see. Probably be more effective if you watched it in a theater. It's a cool outpost. But yeah, perhaps she gets paranoid, goes crazy up there, and they're forced to bring her down. This is another thing they keep showing in the movie. They keep showing the, I guess these are bees, and then they're playing the sound, and it's like she's sleeping in the outpost, and here's the axe, and maybe she goes after somebody with the axe as well. So yeah, this is sort of, I think, one of those movies where it's a person isolated, they go crazy, and it's an interesting choice for Joe Truglio. I would love to see him direct a comedy. I think we need more comedies. I wish these guys were directing comedies. But it's, I think, hard to get a comedy greenlit these days. There's just too much woke BS. It's too risky for the studio. They don't want to get canceled. They don't want to offend people. So it's easier to do something like this where, it's much harder to offend people, I think. But it's also true that comedies don't translate well overseas, and this kind of movie would. This kind of movie, you could show this in Sweden or Japan or India or wherever, because it would be kind of a universal theme. First off, it's a dark movie, it's kind of a horror movie, but someone in an isolated region going crazy. That's something you literally could happen in any part of the world. Well, maybe not India, it's very densely populated, but most countries. It's a lot of Indians. But yeah, so who knows? But he is a funny guy, so I'd like to see him do a comedy. I'd like to see more comedies. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. You're missing all the bass takes. There's like 2 other bass takes. They're on the other channels. I can't put it on YouTube. Too spicy. See you on Saturday for the big free comic book day at the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey from 10 to 5. And then on Sunday, I'll be at LBI Book Swap in Beach Haven, New Jersey for my book signing. Hope to see you there. We'll see you